it looks more horror kind of deal. So I don't know. I was told that there are some trigger warnings though. I have not been able to add them to like the chat or whatever. What was the warnings? Hold on. Okay, so apparently there's trigger warnings of self-harm, suicide. I don't know what SA is. Abuse situation. And slight depictions of homophobia. So those are the triggers. If you have any of that, I'm sorry. There you go. Sexual assault. Oh. Sunshine, when do you plan on starting to read the one book, by the way? We were kind of playing Pal World, so I couldn't really, like, get into it. True, is that a new emote? The little goose thing? Let me see here. Dang it. It's a parrot with a mustache? Really? Why is the beak over the mustache, though? Oh, okay, hold on. I see it now. Oh my goodness. It looks funny. I kind of like it. I mean, Sunshine, I can't tell you what to do, but I mean, if it was my choice, I probably would. But I might be a little biased. Just because I read it and I really like it. Dude, I cannot find... Oh, hold on. Here we go. Okay, I took that one off. So we won't be getting that anymore. Alright. Okay, so I could change the display of this book. So y'all gotta tell me if it looks okay. To me, it looked like it was like blurry or something. So I don't know. Does it look okay to y'all? Because I could change. I have a lot more flexibility with this one than the last one. So I could literally change the font and everything. It does look odd. Yeah, doesn't it? I even tried to like... Mizu, how are you doing? How was your day? I got to play with Sunshine earlier, by the way. What about that one? Does it still look blurry to y'all? I don't know how to fix it. Oh, nice. Okay. I have a friend right now that's playing that. So, not to you. Okay. Sunshine, you're not the only one, because to me, it looked blurry too. So, oddly enough, Mizu, with DBD, I've never played DBD, but I know a lot about that game for somebody that doesn't play it. It's crazy how much you'll learn just by watching somebody play. Alright. Alright, so it looks good, okay. I could change the background too. We could do that. That. Or the black. Whatever y'all want to do. I thought the black looked the best, but I wasn't sure. Alright, let's see here. You like the dark setting? Alright. Are you really colorblind? When I was in high school, I knew somebody that was colorblind. And to be honest, a lot of people did not believe this person was colorblind because, like, he was in high school. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, can y'all hear any music? Really? Wow. You can. Is it super loud? See, I don't know why I can't ever hear it. Just sucks. Nope. Okay. Perfect. Does it sound weird though? Dude, I don't know what the freak is going on. Okay. Okay. If y'all want me to turn it up, just let me know. We're going to start though. Alright, I've been learning. I got the Spotify, I think, going now, so I'm happy about that. Alright, here. The summer winds blow across the fields of grain, the villagers working fast and furiously to harvest it. A storm gathered on the horizon that threatened to destroy this year's crop. But some ways off in the distance, on the banks of a flowing river, two boys aged 12 years of age with sticks fought each other as if with swords. The boys were twins, Corvo and Corvin. Hold on a second. Hold on. Is Panda still in here? Because this is his friend. And his friend is on my Discord. And I am pretty sure... Hold on. Sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. I know. I'm sorry. Why won't it show me his name? It won't let me look at it right now. Yes. So, wait a second. Did your friend make his Discord name based on his book? Doing as most boys do, avoiding work and horsing around. You will have to do much better than that, Corvin, if you want to best me, Corvo said as he swung the stick at his brother's head. The swing missed, but only, the wood sweeping through Corvin's hair. Corvin ducked and followed up with a swing of his own. That swing was met, as was the next in the next. Corvo was relentless as he drove Corvin back towards the slippery river bank. Step by step, Corvin is driven back until a misstep in a shoulder check sends Corvin sprawling in the muddy bank. You'll pay for that, Corvo, Corvin growls and flings a handful of mud at his brother's face. It splatters with a wet smack all over his face and tunic. Corvin laughs at Corvo's shocked expression, but shrieks when he is tackled. The boys try to outdo each other and come out on top. Before too long, both are absolutely covered in mud and almost unrecognizable as children. Gotcha. I just remember seeing his name, so... Above the wrestling boys, the storm clouds have blackened ominously, and the wind begins to blow as raindrops fall from the sky. The only thing that stops the boys from their wrestling is the loud booming of thunder suddenly echoing across the land. They both look up at the sky in surprise. We might want to head to the barn to clean up this muck. You know, Father will tan our hides if we go inside the hut covered in this much mud. Corvin said as both boys extracted themselves from the mud. Corvo looks at his brother and nods his agreement. Race you to the barn, he says before he takes off in the direction of the village, followed closely by Corvin. They make it to the barn just as the worst of the storm is breaking. As the winds blow, the boys clean themselves up and are about to head inside when Corvin motions to Corvo to come quickly. Pointing towards their hut, both boys are able to see a tall man dressed all in black and a wide-brimmed hat exiting the hut. Corvo looks at Corvin and nods towards the strange man. Guys, hold on. My phone just froze. So it's like I'm frozen on screen. There we go. That's the doctor that father had visit mother a while back, Corvin, he said as his voice trails off and a concerned look overcomes his face as worry crosses Corvin's. Mother? They say in unison, shock, and rush towards the hut door. But before they can reach the door, arms reach out and stop both boys. They fight their attackers, but a booming voice shouts, "Stop!" Everyone freezes when the boys look up. The doctor stands before them. The doctor comes into view before them, moving the crowd apart with his cane. I did make it with Vroid. How did you know that? So I made my model with Vroid. Is it still okay? But I commissioned somebody. Yeah, I commissioned somebody to make my outfit and my wings, though. So, yeah, I know, like, okay, in the VTuber, like, community, a lot of people look down on Vroid, but I haven't had any issues with it, and I think it, like, to me, I think it looks fine and stuff, but I don't know. So I don't know. I know a lot of people go for 2Ds, though. But 2D requires... Yeah, exactly. And, like, I had somebody, like, an author friend of mine reach out about how to make one. And I told her about Vroid, but she did not like the program. She was like, it just seemed outdated. So, I decided to go with something else. So I was like, whatever. So yeah, a lot of people do 2D, but that requires a lot more work, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, when I have people ask me, I always tell them, just go to Vroid. It's very simple. And you don't have to worry about like rigging or anything like that because it's a 3D model, so it's already rigged basically. Yeah, see, that's what a lot of people end up doing is the PNG, but I didn't want to do that because you have to rig, and rigging could take, rigging can take a long time and it takes a lot of work. So I just kind of skipped that and went with 3D. True, I have M&Ms or peanut M&Ms. My stash is low, so I have to get another bag. So your choice, True. Peanut. Alright, perfect. Now with the PNG tuber, what some people will do, they'll start with the 3D model and then they switch to a PNG. Are they really your favorite? I did not know that. So I'm more of a peanut butter person. Yep, I'm pretty sure both 2D and PNG still requires rigging. I'm pretty sure. Panda, I had to because I could not read and talk while eating candy. Sunshine, why are you going to unfollow me? What? Wait, what did I say? I love peanut butter. Yes, though peanut butter is my favorite. Reese Cups is my favorite candy. Actually, any Reese's. I thought PNG does too because, like, it's a flat surface still kind of deal. Like it doesn't have like the side, like if I turn this way or that way, you know. You like peanut better? No. No, I have to disagree. Peanut butter M&Ms are really good. They're like my second, you know. But doesn't it look better when you do rig the PNG? I mean, Sunshine, I'm sorry. I don't mean to disappoint, but I mean, if you haven't learned, I have weird food stuff, so there's a lot of stuff I won't eat. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know if in the future, if that's something I would consider, like, upgrading to, like, a different model or what. I don't know. You get the crunch. You get the crunch with the peanut butter ones. It's just not as much of a crunch. Do you know how to make models? You're gonna fist fight me? Well, I mean, I have wings, so I could totally, like, I could avoid a fist, you know? But, you know, I also have the viewer attack if you really wanted to. Oh my goodness. I seen one VTuber, they have a chat redeem where people can throw it's like 5 Pokeballs or whatever at their VTuber and it hits them in the head and everything. I thought that would be cool. Alright. Oh my gosh! Panda got the rock? Are you serious? Panda, are you trying to hit me for sunshine?
Definitely got a big book.
Oh my goodness. Oh, sunshine. I'm going to be getting I'm going to get some panda emotes for Panda. I can't dodge anything. I can't move. Oh my gosh. I can't move, guys. Thanks, Misu. See, Mitsu's trying to defend me. See? I need somebody, apparently. Oh my goodness. I can't dodge those stuff at all. Oh, I hate when Twitch does that. I'll be having all kinds of issues with Twitch. What did I forget? I mean, it's not uncommon for me to forget stuff. I forget things all the time. Are you talking about, wait, the Kung Fu Panda? Are you talking about that Poe? Yes? Wait. Is that what your name is based off of? Because if so, I never put that connection. The parents of these boys were my patients. He tells the crowd, who whisper among themselves. The boys look at each other, confused, before the sound of hammer and nails make them look up. Boards are being placed over the door of the hut and nailed into place. Realization and fear starts to take a deep-rooted hold in Corvin's heart as he looks back to the doctor. Corvo starts saying, I don't think, but the doctor holds up a hand to cut him off. Oh, okay. Well, okay, so in one of the movies, I know, Poe goes to, some, panda village or whatever. So that's why I was like, wait a second. When you mentioned him. Ouch. Boys, I am afraid to inform you that your parents have both passed away from the plague. The doctor uses his cane to look over both boys before nodding to release them. Once both boys are released, the doctor places a hand on a shoulder of both before saying, I'm sorry, boys, I cannot allow you to enter to your hut. We do not want to lose you as well. Tell me what your names are. Did you really? Wait a second. How long have you had the name then? Because those movies been out for, for a minute. Carvo, and this is my brother Corvin, Corvo said, trying to steady his voice. The doctor nods and then lets out a small sigh before replying. With you, no other being able to safely return home, Carvo and Carvin. I have arranged for the stableman to take you. Hold on a second. Panda. Okay, you have read this book, correct? Because I kind of have a question. Oh, wow. You read parts of this book. Okay. Do you know... Is this the doctor? Hold on. If you don't know, that's fine. Is the doctor talking right here? If you could see the highlighted parts, let me know. Yes, it's the doctor. Okay. With you no longer being able to safely return home, Corvo and Corvin, I have arranged for the stableman to take you in. You will work for him in return for food and shelter. He motions for the boys to board the wagon. Once they are fully seated, the wagon leaves town. He pays the boys no mind during the ride. Sunshine... I'm assuming in the book, the doctor is like an old man. Are you an old man? Right? Corvo, Corvin says in a whisper, what are we going to do? Corvo shakes his head with uncertainty. I don't know, Corvin. Surely the stables can't be so bad. It was obvious he was trying to stay strong for his brother. Corvin closes his eyes and looks everywhere. The only thing that changed between them was their shoulders touching as the blanket kept them somewhat warm in the downpour. Obviously. It's very obvious. Can't you tell, Panda? We just don't know. We just don't know it. They traveled through the countryside to the next town. The creaking of the wagon came to a stop outside of a good-sized stable. The doctor walked the boys up to the stable master and spoke a few words to him before turning to the boys. Corvin, this is stable master Barton. He will care for you, clothe you, feed you, but you must listen to him. A thought can be seen crossing the doctor's face, but it seems to quickly vanish as he steps away, pushing the boys to Barton. Barton, you know where I will be if any issues arise with the boys, but they will serve you well, I think. He climbs back onto his wagon and begins to drive the horses onward, away from the boys. Barton takes hold of the shoulders of the boys and guides them into the stables and out of the rain. Once inside, he turns to them. I know losing your parents have been hard on the both of you, but you are no longer there and belong to me now. I'm not without a heart though, so tonight you will have a bowl of leftover stew from the missus and sleep in the straw. Tomorrow you will start your chores early. So I suggest you both get some rest. With that, he leaves the boys by an empty stall with fresh straw bedding. They hesitate for a moment, looking at each other uncertain before Barton returns with a bowl. They hesitate for a moment, looking at each other, uncertain, before Barton returns with a bowl of stew and gives it to Corvo. He nudges them towards the stall, and once they were in, he left again, taking the torch with him this time. Corvo scoops a bit of stew and sniffs it cautiously. The stew was somewhat cold and greasy. Upon tasting it, he found it to be at least somewhat edible. The boys ate in silence as, by this point, they were both very numb, both physically and mentally. It was some time before the boys fell asleep. But once they slept in fits and uneasily at that. Okay. So that was chapter 1. Wait, what? Wait, you sniffed peanut butter M&M? What? How do you sniff them? The plague doctor's beaks. Are they birds? Puka, how are you doing? Thanks for coming. How's your night going? They put good smelling stuff. Okay, I am so lost. I don't know what we're talking about. Wait a second. Hold on. I've seen those doctors with the mask thing. Well, I didn't know that's what they referred to. Dude, Puka, I hate when that happens. I get like that. I think yesterday, I got like that yesterday. Because I tend to stay up. Like, I don't feel tired, but then it's all in my eyes and everything, you know? Maybe you should get some sleep, though, Puzzle. Oh, that reminds me. You like puzzles and stuff. I'm going to a puzzle competition tomorrow. Okay, Sunshine. Yeah, I think that's exactly what Sunshine's talking about, Puka. Which I don't know much about them, so I don't know a whole lot of information. Yes, I am going to a puzzle competition at my library. It like starts at noon. Okay, so the funny thing is, you have to have a partner, and I have a partner, and it's this old lady that I've only met once. Like, I didn't even know how to get in contact with her. The library people had to get in contact with her to confirm that she was coming. I appreciate Puka. I appreciate you being here. But yeah, whatever you need to do to get sleep. I don't think they had peanut butter M&Ms back then. Panda, to answer your question, so far it's good. I mean, I cannot determine exactly if I like a book by the first chapter. I give it a good portion to determine if I like it or not. So I cannot really say much. So yeah. You were there? You must be like really, really old then, Sunshine. probably more than the next stream. So, okay, so there's 76 chapters. We're going to be on this book for a good portion. Because what I usually do, I usually stream either 2 hours or 2 chapters. So, every stream. Yoshi, how are you doing?
Definitely got a big book.
How's your night going? Thank you for being here. 76? yes, there's 76. So this book is 500 pages. So we're gonna be on this for a while because books that are like between 100 and 300 have been taking me like a month to get through. So I imagine we're going to be on this book for like at least 2 months. Fallout? What's Fallout? I am doing well. I took off today, so I got to like relax today. I went to the library. I got my bedroom cleaned. And then I took a nap. And then I played Power World with Sunshine. So and I didn't even realize it, but I was on Power World with them for like 3 hours. Yeah, this is a big book, so do they get bigger the further into the series? And I got unfollowed because I prefer peanut M&Ms over the peanut M&Ms. Wrongly? I still say peanut butter is better than peanuts. Sunshine, thanks for the biddies. Oh my goodness. For the nuts. You like them all equally? Have you had the peanut butter M&Ms? Sunshine. Oh my goodness. So chapter 1, we just read about 2 boys, and basically their parents died from the plague, and now they're at this like stable hand or something like that. So you have oh nice, like all together kind of deal. Like how does that work? Oh my goodness. We don't mix our M&Ms. I mean, they may be better if you mix them. I don't know. That's a lot of peanut and peanut butter. Alright. Corvin says in a whisper, "What are we going to do?" Corvo shakes his head with uncertainty. "I don't know, Corvin. Surely the stables can't be so bad." It was obvious he was trying to stay strong for his brother. Corvin closes his eyes and looks elsewhere. The only thing that changed between them was their shoulders touching as the blanket kept them somewhat warm in the downpour. Oh, thanks for the follow! I did not hear it go off. Dude, my sound is completely off. No wonder. What the heck? Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Awesome. Oh, you want me to read louder? I wonder if I could turn up my mic. Or I could turn down the sound if the sound is... Doo-doo-doo. How's that? Does that sound better? Oh, thanks for the hydrate. Is it loud now or is it better? I don't know. Awesome. Do you stream? Are you a streamer? Hey, I'm all for chat hydrating when it's redeemed. Wait, fairy ill getcha? What? Not all the time? Well, that's okay. We could do a shout out if you want. Yeah, right now we're talking about, I guess we're debating between peanut M&Ms and peanut butter M&Ms. So, thanks, Sunshine. Puka, you know this song? I don't know what it is. Dreamy Night. To be honest, I kind of just put up a... Dude, I have an X over my face. I just kind of put on a random, like, lo-fi, thing. Not debating? I mean, we kind of are, like, at least me and you are. Mitsu's just trying to be, like, in the middle kind of deal, you know? Lily Pichu? I don't know. Hold on. You're talking about the song, right? Yes, you're right. It is. Wow. You really know your music, Puka. I know. Alright. Where was I? It was obvious he was trying to stay strong for his brother. Corvin closes his eyes and looks everywhere. The only thing that changed between them was their shoulders touching as the blanket kept them somewhat warm in the downpour. Really? Wait, is somebody singing? You're right. I did not realize that. I wanted it to be like lo-fi, but alright. Alright, they traveled through the countryside to the next town. The creaking of the wagon came to a stop outside of a good-sized stable. The doctor... Wait, we read that. How did we end up... Okay. A loud bang woke both brothers up early the next morning. It was still dark outside, but the loud neighing of a hungry horse reminded them of where they really were. And home was not it. They looked towards each other, a certain sorrow flashing across their eyes. Corvo opened his mouth to say something, but was interrupted. Well, looky here. I got myself a couple of lost street rags, Burton said, chuckling. Corvin's eyebrows creased as he did not like the sound of this man's voice. Relax, boys, don't be so tense. The doctor brought you to me for good reason, and I tend to keep you to that argument. But enough talk. There are horses to be fed and watered, stalls to be mucked. He looks to Corvo first. Here, boy, muck the stalls. You do know how to do that, right? He tosses the roughly made shovel to the boy. Corvo scowls as it clatters beside him and goes to say something, but Barton is not paying attention to him anymore. Yeah, her music sounded pretty good. I mean, okay, so my computer's muted. So when I unmuted it sounded good. It's like really loud on my end, and I don't know, like, if I turned it down, what it will, like, if it would affect it on y'all side. So I don't know. And I can't have it super loud because it like distracts me from reading. Alright. Now you boy, Corvin, was it? Barton asked. Corvin nodded slightly, still very unsure of the situation and this man before Corvo and himself. Good to see my memory still serves me correctly. Now you will feed the horses and water them. After we will see just how much use you and your brother will be to me. Do not disappoint me, boys. A full day's work for a full belly at night. With that, Burton turns to leave and is soon out of sight. She's been eating peanut. Wait, what? What? Oh, on the music thing? Yeah, I don't know why. Like, through this stream, it sounds a whole lot like lower than it does like for me, and I don't know why. So Corvin is the first to speak. Muck out the stalls, he says in a mocking tone. Can you believe this guy? Jerking his thumb in the general direction of the rescinding stable master as he stood up before handing Corvin the shovel. Here you muck the stalls, and don't glare at me like that. I'm firstborn, so do what I say. This earns Corvo a glare from Corvin. Just because you came out first doesn't mean you could push me around, Corvo, Corvin said, now irritated. He threw the shovel back to Corvo before stomping off towards the hay. Both boys were irritable, but got to work all the same. They worked hard all day until about dusk. Yelling and screaming were heard outside in the corral. It was loud enough that it brought everyone running, including the boys. In the corral, a black yearling colt with white socks, ears pinned back, was screaming his anger. The dust cleared just enough that another stable hand could be seen on the ground, bloody and broken. The horse snorts and prances off, going right by everyone. Barton climbs in the corral and ropes the yearling. Come, you devil! The butcher will get to have you now. That's the third one in a month. He leads the yearling away. Corvin looks at the stable hand before sharing a glance with his brother. Corvo shakes his head, trying to discourage him, but it was too late. Corvin slips under the barrier and is by the stable hand's trampled body. Corvo groans but follows, but a crushed basket catches his eye. Approaching that basket, an angry hissing is heard. Corvin is currently looking over the bloody, battered body in curiosity, unaware of his brother's doing. Sir, Corvo calls out to the stable master and runs to him. Sir, wait! The stable master stops with a yearling. What is it, boy? He says, mildly annoyed that this child was speaking to him. That horse was reacting to the snakes, he said, pointing to the crushed basket. It's still alive in there too, I think. The horse wasn't killing that man just to do it. He was responding to the snake. The angry hissing could still be heard from the basket remains, but a dark snake was seen slithering out of the basket and towards an unsuspecting Corvin who was looking at the bloodied body. Fear crossed both the Corvo and the stable master faces. Corvin, get out of there! The snake! They both shrieked at him, but Corvin, for one reason or another, did not hear them until a rock thrown by Corvo hit him in the shoulder. At the moment of the throw, the yearling screamed and reared up, knocking both boys and master to the side. Corvin turns around, about to give Corvo an earful, but sees the snake raising its head to strike. Fear grips Corvin's heart, and he tries to back up, but the snake strikes, sinking its fangs into Corvin's leg. He lets out a scream of pain and fright and falls backwards. The snake raised again for another strike. Corvo watched in equal terror as he watched what he thought was his only brother being killed by the viper. A whoosh of black and pounding hooves goes by, and those around the corral screaming as the yearling breaks loose. A cloud of dirt and dust conceal both yearling and Corvin. Corvin, let me go! I must get my brother! No, let me go! It took multiple people to hold Corvo back as the stable master ran to the horse and boy. As he approached the scene, the dust cleared and the yearling trotted off to the side. The snake lay trampled on the ground before him, and Corvin lay on the ground beyond the trampled area. The stable master picked Corvin up and carried him back towards the barn, followed closely by a very upset, almost hysterical Corvo. Corvin was in tremendous pain and cried out. He was laid down on a few crates, rolling side to side as the stable master struggled to keep him steady, his face contorted in agony as it dripped with sweat. Barton looked to the stable hand. You remembered the doctor who brought them here. The stable hand nods. Get him now. The stable hand is soon gone as Barton worked over Corvin. Corvo is in shock, unable to move. The tears for his brother dripped down his face. He thought he was losing his brother and did not know what to do. Time passed slowly, it seemed like, to Corvo as he looked on. Slowly enough that he did not notice the doctor arriving until a pair of hands gripped his shoulder and led him away. He was in enough shock that there was little resistance to his being moved. He sat on a bench as told, but would not move, even refuse food when it was offered to him. It was dark out when a pair of boots stopped before Corvo. He looked up slowly, almost afraid of what would be said. Before him was the doctor from the other day. Relax, son. Your brother got lucky. He will survive the snake bite as long as the bad airs do not take hold. He places a hand on Corvo's shoulder. I was told that your brother was poking at the body. Is that true? Corvo nods. He has always been curious like that. We both have, sir. Our parents taught us about some things, but... He sighs and looks away. The doctor tilted his head, curious. But what? My child? he said to Corvo. But such things would not be possible for mere orphans with nothing to their name. So it does not matter anyway.
That doesn't mean you aren't loved.
The doctor looks away, thinking for a moment as he strokes the chin of his gloved hand. Well, maybe... Corvo looks at him somewhat confused. Upon seeing the confusion, the doctor replies, "You are a bit young yet, but I think you and your brother just might see me again. Once you are a bit older, though." The doctor gives his shoulder a squeeze. "You can go see your brother now, Corvo." He turns and leaves as Corvo races inside the barn to his brother. Corvin lays on the crates, covered by a thin blanket. The last few hours of his ordeal was evident as he slept. He looked feverish, and the area around the bite showed signs of leech work and other bloodletting. Seeing that Corvin looked to be doing much better, Corvo settled himself on the ground to guard his brother. But in his mind, the doctor's words echoed. What could he have possibly meant by they would see him again? That he would not understand for a few years yet. Good night, Wolf. Have a good night. Get some good sleep. You know, all that. Alright. So that was chapter 2. Chapter 2. Alright, so basically, we just read about a horse that freaked out because of a snake, and one of the brothers was interested in the snake, and it sounds like there was an accident. And so the doctor basically came and make sure that the boy was okay. And then he left his Corvo with a very interesting statement. Yes, the 2 chapters did fly by. I'm gonna say that we will continue reading though, because I've only been on here for like an hour. So I figure we'll continue. These chapters might be shorter. They might be like a shorter type chapter. So that's what I'm thinking we'll do. Alright. I'm gonna take a bite of my sandwich. Sorry, guys.
She's definitely gonna
read more? Okay.
She's definitely got a big book.
I'm assuming that the sound is working for the blurbs. I'm assuming that they're working. If not, y'all should let me know. They're low? Alright, hold on. I think I could fix that. See, like I said, on my end, it sounds totally different. Let's see here. Maybe under settings? Volume. Here we go. Okay, it says that my volume is totally up on Blurp. Let me check on here. Where is the blurps? There's the blurps. I don't know. I mean, it could be because on the actual website it says it's all the way up.
Bambi sleep.
And then like on the actual like OBS option, it doesn't give me an option to like turn it up or anything. Sunshine has this too, so she might have an idea. Alright. Spring of... Oh, Chapter 3. Apprenticeship. Spring of 1337. So this was a long, long time ago. Two years had passed since they had become orphans, but Corvo and his brother Corvin were doing as well as stable boys could be doing. When Corvo... Oh, Panda, I wonder, does it seem like it's lower? Because I did raise my voice. And maybe the other stuff is too loud. Oh, wait. Control audio via OBS. Yeah, I could. I just hate re-listening to myself. Okay, which one was that one again? The big book? Okay, tell me how it sounds now.
She's definitely got a big book.
Because now I can control it in OBS. I fixed it. Okay. Alright, perfect. Okay. Oh my goodness, sorry, excuse me. 2 years had passed since they had become orphans, but Corvo and his brother Corvin were doing as well as stable boys could be doing. When Corvin had been well enough, he had found out what happened, and it had been determined that the yearling had actually saved Corvin's life. The black horse with white socks no longer let anyone but the farrier and Corvin near it, though it did tolerate Corvo, but only just so. Today, the brothers were out in the field, watching the horses graze and ensuring that no bandit stole away any of the horses. Corvo stayed on the hill above the herd to scout for any danger. Corvin walked a perimeter around the horses. Ever since the snake had bitten Corvin, Corvin had never quite been the same to Corvo. He had been quieter, still did his work, but something had changed within his brother. Corvo was certain of that much, but today he watched as his brother made his rounds around the herd. Without warning, the horses bolted away from the trees for seemingly no reason, or so Corvo thought until a pack of dogs could be seen. As Corvo ran towards the dogs, so did Corvin, whooping and waving large sticks. Corvin suddenly stopped before running to the horses, and Corvo knew he would need to talk to him later. At least he did until one of the horses turned around and charged back at the dogs. It was the black horse now, a stallion, had come running. Ears lay back in such a way that the dogs stopped and turned tail before running away. The stallion hot on their tails. Everything settled down, but Corvo was anything but relaxed. His brother had disappeared. Swearing up a storm, Corvo muttered to himself as he made his way to where Corvin had last been spotted. "Corvin, I swear if I find you dead, I'm going to bring you back to life and kill you myself. You damn bloody fool." But upon reaching the location, his brother was nowhere to be found. He looked left and looked right, but then a neighing off in the trees, and he stared intently, tilting his head slightly to hear things better. Corvin, on the other hand, unaware of his brother's worrying, had made a split-second decision to use a horse to scare off the dogs. But in the heat of the moment, had not paid attention to the horse he had jumped on. And as they galloped back towards the meadow, he realized that it was the stallion that had saved him 2 full years prior. The one that no one could ride. A smile and feeling of exhilaration rose up within him. Soon the feeling could no longer be contained within him. He let out the loudest whooping laughter he had done in years, and time seemed to slow down as the wind swept through his hair, and they rode together. All too soon they came back into view of Corvo. As they approached him, Corvin brought the stallion up to a slow canter and then a bit of a rough stop. The stallion stomped his hoof impatiently. Corvo stared at the pair in shocking surprise, and it is a moment before he could speak. "You damn fool, Corvin. You could have been killed. And what are you on the stallion from the corral? The unrideable one?" Corvin chuckles and shrugs. "I guess I am." "And he isn't exactly unrideable, Corvo. I mean, I rode him, didn't I?" Corvo glares a bit, so Corvin adds, "I am okay, Corvo. Stop worrying so much. It's not like I was dealing with a snake after all." That last bit earns Corvin another glare followed by an eye roll. Sorry. Well, Corvin, I think it might be time to get the horses brought in after that little stunt. You are still a damn fool for doing that, Corvo said as Corvin nods in agreement, but does not get off the stallion and instead directs the horse and canters off. Corvo hollers after him, "Get off the horse! Stable Master Barton won't like you being up there." But the request falls on deaf ears as Corvin rides away. When they arrived back at the farm, Barton was outside directing the horses into the corral. "Corvo, where is your brother? I do not see him," he asked, and Corvo only responds by pointing in the direction of where they came from. "I do not see..." He falls silent as Corvin comes up riding the stallion at a light gallop. He rides it right past the stable master and Corvo into the corral. "Corvin!" Barton calls out, and Corvin climbs out of the corral. "Care to explain to me why the bloody hell you were on my stallion and unrideable one at that?" Corvin straightens him out and explains the situation about the dogs attacking the horses and the split-second decision that had to be made in that moment. Barton nods as he listens before suddenly backhanding Corvin with a smack that could be heard echoing in the barn, hard enough that it sends Corvin sprawling in the dirt. Corvo gets up with a start, but seems to think better of it, and only watches with concern. "Stay off my horse, boy, or next time you get the switch," he says before storming off. Down in the dirt, Corvin is holding his stinging cheek, but it is not long before one can see the anger building in Corvin's posture. And as he starts walking towards the stable master, he is only stopped by Corvo. "Corvin, stop. You will only make it worse." Corvin still pushes against his brother. "Going after him will not resolve anything." Corvin does not stop even then at their brother's insistence. "The man is a fool, Corvo. Now get out of my way." A final shove from Corvo sends Corvin sprawling in the dirt again. He rises with a growl of anger and pushes Corvo back. By this point, neither boy is tolerating it from the other, and as such, end up fighting each other. Panda, are you still here? I have a question. Get a drink here. All right. Oh. Fists gets thrown and bruises are created on each other. Corvin kicks at Corvo, hitting him on the thighs, which in turn only infuriates him. And as they grapple each other, things start to get bloody. Corvo only gets the upper hand just barely by grabbing Corvin's hair and throwing him into a nearby barrel. For a good moment, Corvin is stunned, but once his head stops spinning and the stares and the stars in his vision dissipate, he stands and glares at Corvo, says nothing to him as he storms off and into the barn, shoulder checking his brother as he goes by. Corvin, wait, please! Corvo tries as his brother disappears from sight once more. Corvin, on the other hand, was fighting demons of his own. He did not know why his own brother stopping him had caused such rage. They had tussled before, but nothing that serious, and nor had such things infuriated him like that. Usually his brother was the one to calm him down, not make things worse. He started punching the post before him to keep from going back out there and doing worse. It went on like this until it bloodied his knuckles and he exhausted himself out. He rested his forehead against the post for a moment until he withdrew and went to clean himself up in one of the water troughs. And that is chapter 2. Or is that chapter 3? Wait, I'm confused. There's 2 chapter 3s. Okay. Well, so there may be more than 72 chapters. So we just read basically hold on, I can't remember, but somehow the horse that nobody can ride like escaped or something, and the one brother was able to ride it and he rode it back to the barn, but the stable master did not like that and punished him, and basically because he was so mad, him and his brother got into it. So yeah. Alright. A few weeks passed since that fight between Corvo and Corvin. Cuts and bruises healed. Corvin groomed the stallion whenever he could, snuck out to ride him as well when he could get away with it. It had been years since the doctor who had... Oh, you're still here? I asked if you were still here because I had a question. But then I didn't get a response, so I just assumed that like maybe you fell asleep or something. Did your friend self-publish this book? There's apparently like 2 or 3 different chapter 3s. From my knowledge, yes. If I could get him a publisher that would be interested, would your friend be interested in a publisher? We'll ask. Okay. Because I know of a good like indie author publisher, and he really does care about the authors. He's an author himself and everything, so if he's interested, I could get him connected with somebody. A few weeks passed since... Oh, I read that. It had been years since the doctor who had brought them there had been seen. Corvo began to wonder if that doctor would ever be seen again. He shook his head, dismissing any thought of what that doctor had said that fateful night. Instead, Corvo's thoughts turned towards what had happened with Corvin. It concerned him greatly, as Corvin had become not much for words anymore, which was unlike him. but his thoughts on that issue were interrupted by a wagon squeaking to a halt before him. Oh, my bad. My bad. Corvo glanced up slightly but didn't recognize the man at first in the black coat. "Can I help you, sir?" he asked automatically as he had been taught to do so. Why, yes, young man, you can. Can you fetch your master and that brother of yours?" The voice replied. That voice sounded familiar to Corvo. But no, it could not be. Could it? I don't know why, but I keep on giving these people like kind of a slight country accent. And in my mind, it's not going away. So, Corvo looked up and looked again at the doctor's face more closely. He had a few more gray streaks in his beard, but otherwise looked exactly the same as the day they first met. "Go on now, boy. Hop to it. Time is a-wasting." Corvo is a bit confused by the request, but did as he was told this time. "Corvin," he calls out in the barn. There is no answer and only the gentle whispers of horses moving in the stall. "Corvin, where are you, you blimey bastard?" He groans his annoyance at what seems to be a constant disappearances now on Corvin's part. I'd be willing to let it be republished, yes. So he is interested. Yeah, oh, I just seen your picture. That's exactly what I thought when y'all were talking about that. Okay, I could get him connected with a publisher if he is interested. And actually, the publisher's in my Discord too, so I'll just like send them a message or something. Corvo looked up. Wait. He decided to go search for Barton instead and headed out of the barn, only to nearly be run over by the stallion. The stallion being ridden by none other than his own brother. Once Corvin was off the horse though, Corvo grabbed him by his tunic and slammed him against the stall wall. "You are a damn fool, Corvin. You know all too well what Barton will do to you if he catches you on that horse." Corvin stares at him, but winces as his shoulder is grounded into some metal on the wall. "Why the hell do you care anyway, Corvo? You are the one always being almighty and righteous, and why? Only because you were born first?" He pushes Corvo away, only to be slammed into the wall again by him. "Are you two at it again?" Barton bellowed. "I am going to tan both you hides this time, and then I'm going to throw you out in the streets." He moves to strike both boys, who flinch. His hand is stopped by the doctor, who is surprisingly strong despite the apparent age. "You should not lay a hand on these boys, Barton. That was not the arrangement we made," the doctor said calmly, but his tone betrayed a slight anger at this. "These boys have been fighting non-stop for nigh on 3 weeks." He rips his arm out of the grip. "Not only that, but that one." "Corvin," the doctor states, simply much to the annoyance of Barton. "Yes, that Corvin. He keeps stealing my stallion." Corvin could not hold his tongue anymore. "A stallion you could never ride." Corvo glared at him, but the doctor signaled to both to hush. Seems to me that the stallion is in its stall, and no theft occurred. He pats the horse's nose absent-mindedly. Now back to the reason of my visit, Barton. Or rather, in this case reasons. Barton looks at the doctor before crossing his arms, irritated. And what reasons might those be? Well, I'm glad you asked, Barton. He stepped away from the horse and casually walks around the barn. I find myself in need of apprentices. Simply 2 apprentices. The boys look at each other, confused. Now, these 2 boys that I entrust you with would do just fine for what I'm looking for. What would it take for you to give them up to me? Barton is seen thinking about it. Would they suffer, likely die, be gone out of my barn and farm for good? The doctor nods yes for the answer, which sends chills down the spines of the boys. Barton seems only too happy. Get them out of my sight then. They have been nothing but trouble since you brought them. The doctor nods before turning to the boys. Go sit in the wagon and touch nothing, he says quite coolly before turning back to Barton. Now, as to my other reason, the boys are out of earshot and are no longer able to hear the conversation. As they climb into the wagon, Corvo says, You know this is your fault, Corvin. We had food and shelter here, but your spineless gut just had to go and get us in trouble. And now we are losing that. Corvin sits down. Well, if you would have kept your mouth shut, I wouldn't be having this problem either. Keep my mouth shut? You are a damn fool! Corvin opens his mouth to fire off a retort, but at that moment the doctor came walking out with the stallion being led by reins. Upon seeing the horse being tied to the wagon, Corvin closed his mouth. In fact, both boys stayed silent as the doctor took his place in the driver's bench before nodding to Burton. And then the wagon moved off down the road. Only once they were out of sight of the farm and deep into the countryside did the doctor suddenly stop and turn in his seat to look at the boys. All right, you 2. It is high time we had a talk. I talk and you listen. Is that understood? Corvin? Carvo? He asked them, to which they both nod. Good. Now, I will admit I am disappointed in both of you based on the information Barton gave me. Information on both of you. He glances between the pair. This fighting between the 2 of you will stop immediately. Is that understood? I will not have apprentices fighting amongst themselves. Both nod again. Corvin, now I cannot have disappearing whenever you so wish. He motions to the stallion. If you want that horse as bad as Barton made it sound, then you will earn him from me. Do well by me, and that stallion will be yours. Corvin picks up as he gets excited just a bit. The doctor holds up a hand. But should you disobey, I can sell that stallion just as quick. His care will be done on top of any other task that I give you. So see to it that you keep up on it all. Corvin nodded, much more solemnly now. What's the favor? My cat is snoring. Hi, Corbin. Was that it? Oh, is he listening? Oh, Corbin! How are you doing? How was your night? I wasn't sure if you're going to come, because I know you said that you weren't sure. Okay, since you're here, I could, like, actually ask you. Your name, did you get it from your book? Like, because I realized Corbin was in here, and I kind of put it together. Alright. Corvo, however, had a bit of a cold-hearted smirk on his face. It pleased him to finally see Corbin put in his place. He was confident enough that the doctor wasn't going to say anything to him, that when the doctor did turn towards him, and even snapped his fingers in front of Corvo's face, it caught him off guard. Corvo, pay attention. You will need to focus more if you ever hope to achieve your goals. And most certainly, not be afraid to step off the old tried and true methods. Yes, I know all about you being by the book. Don't be so stiff, my dear boy, and try new things. After all, as my new apprentice, you will both be learning methods new to the medical field. He studies the faces of both boys to ensure that they both fully understood the seriousness of the conversation. They looked back at him unsure of everything, but they were certainly both listening. I have been looking forward to working with both of you for a few years now, but we still have a long journey ahead of us, and I am certain Barton was not feeding you well. If you get hungry, there is a cheesecloth sack back there with you. It has some apples, cheese, and a hunk of bread. I will not have my apprentices starving, or otherwise not in good health. I do have my reputation to uphold as the city's doctor of ailments in Paris. Dr. Henry Fasinelli? At your service, my boys. You are to address me as Doctor, or Dr. Fasinelli? Is that understood? Both Corbin and Corvo nodded, but the doctor held up his hand to his ear. What was that? I couldn't hear you. Altered, how are you doing? How's your night? Doo-doo-doo. Wait, you do cosplay? That's cool. Oh, good night, Mitsu. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Get some good sleep, you know. I am doing well, Altered. We just started actually a new book. So, just now you did? Just now you did. Oh, that's what your picture is. Your like profile picture. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Also, I know Panda asked you, but I know a publisher. If you're interested, I could get you connected with him. He's like an indie author publisher. He's an author himself. So perfect. Yeah, I could get you connected. Amanda, so the other day, apparently you could go on your Xbox and you can like download the Twitch app, and that's kind of how it is. You have like the Twitch on your TV, but if you want to chat, you have to use your phone. I was a little disappointed with, yeah. Like, I was hoping that I didn't have to use my phone to chat, because it kind of ties up my phone. But it's whatever. I didn't have my computer at the time. Yes, Dr. Vicinelli. I don't know if I'm butchering this name. Oh crap, I'm frozen again. If I'm butchering his name, I'm so sorry. I know sometimes like characters' names could be really important. To which Dr. Vicinelli nods his approval before turning around and continues to drive down the road. As they travel, the boys eat and find that the apples are not wormy and the cheese was of a quality they never had the pleasure of eating. Did I really? Wow. That's crazy. Alright, so that was like, I think chapter 3, part 2. I think that's where we're going to stop though, because it is getting towards the like my 2-hour mark kind of deal. So let's switch screen.